Why am I frustrated? Why am I frustrated? Okay, why am I frustrated? Why am I so angry? Emotions are symptoms of a deeper issue. I believe that every belief is simply a thought repeated so many times. Hello. Welcome back for another video. You know, I have not really made videos in a long time. I always wanted to do like a book club type of channel. This is not a book club, but there's some books that I read in the past that I learned from that I recently opened again. So I'm gonna just talk about things that I learned from it because I always want to come back and watch this video so I can learn something else in the future. Not only that, I feel like somebody else could learn something from it too. Today's book is Psycho-Cybernetics. I really love that book. It's like mainly about like self-image and how to basically change yourself. And when I say change yourself, not like being a self-improvement machine, however, like to change your self-image, how you view yourself, how you perceive yourself. So I'm going to talk about a few lessons that I learned from this book. Number one, your self-concept, your self-image is the beginning of everything. Every single thing in your life is dependent on how you view yourself. Your mental picture of yourself is really vital. That is why you have to make sure that you are taking care of your mind and you are watching your thoughts. You're making sure like what are the kind of thoughts that I'm having, and if so, are they true, and if so, are they healthy? Because a lot of the time, at least I know myself, my thoughts are not healthy. Okay, don't let like your past experiences define you in a negative way. I'm really guilty of this, letting past experiences define me in a negative way. Like if I do something wrong, I tend to like ruminate on it for a really long time. Or if somebody else hurts me, I also tend to ruminate on that for a really long time, which is not healthy. It is not healthy at all. And it's almost like a mindset that's really detrimental for you. Because if you're going to stay in this space of, oh my God, I'm a terrible person, or oh my God, they're a terrible person, you're not ever going to take action, you know? And taking action is really, really important, okay? Another thing is you have to view yourself as that girl or that guy, okay? I know that on social media, a lot of people talk about, oh, I'm that girl. And usually the things that they use to define I'm that girl are materialistic or on the outside, but I want to caution you and implore you to define yourself based off of what's on the inside of you, and making sure that you're constantly working on yourself to not only be a better human being to yourself, but to others as well. Next, your imagination is really, really, really important. Everything starts up here, okay? If you think that you cannot do it, you're not going to do it. If you think you are not worthy, then the universe is just going to keep giving you evidence of you not being worthy. So you want to make sure that you are dialing those kinds of things back a little bit. Now, he also talked about that there's a difference between your personality and your self-image, okay? So your personality is like your outward representation of your self-image, if that makes any sense. Let me explain this more. The way that you view yourself inside, so your self-image is going to impact your self-expression. So I know someone at law school. She is always talking about how terrible her personality is and how she is not funny. She's basically stupid. And I really don't like when she talks about herself like that, because she's far from that. You're in law school. You're in law school for pit's sake. There is no way that you are dumb, first of all, because you'd have never gotten here. And secondly, if you think all these things about yourself, then that is what you're going to exhibit on the outside. So it's really important to watch your mindscape, okay? Watch that. It's really important that you watch that. Another thing is you need to stop assuming things and start rationalizing them. For instance, I started this thing where I'm like, when I have a negative thought, I like to rationalize the thought. So let's say, back to that example of my friend, let's say if I'm like, oh, I'm stupid, start to rationalizing it and see, okay, where is the evidence of the fact that I'm not good enough, right? Where's the evidence of ABC? And a lot of times when you go and rationalize on your own, you're going to find that there's literally no evidence for anything that you're talking about. There's none at all. You have to realize that a lot of your negative beliefs do not come from anything that is real, but rather your self-image, how you view yourself and what you have let your unconscious mind do for a really long time. So you have to stop, doing that. Your thoughts are not facts. this is something that my friend tells me all the time, and this is also something that is a very stoic principle. So if you're like into stoicism, Marcus Aurelius really talked about like the quality of your thoughts being really important, and I really agree with this. Like, if your mind is dirty, and when I say dirty, I don't mean you're dirty, but I mean like dirty as in negative, your life is going to be a representation of your mind. And I agree with this wholeheartedly. Every single time that I'm having negative beliefs, negative self-concept, negative self-image, my life tends to match that. Okay? So you want to start, or stop rather, doing that. So the author of this book also talks about how our body works like a machine. Well, duh. Even though our body is natural, it's a very organic thing, it works like a machine. So what does this mean? This means that there is a servo mechanism that guides us towards our goals by itself without our intervention. All we need is to explicitly state what the respective goal is, and the automatic response mechanism would take over and guide us towards it. And these things are divided between conscious and unconscious things. So in order to get this part of your body to kick in, you're going to have to align your unconscious mind with your conscious mind. So if I know I want to be a doctor, I need to align my conscious actions, my conscious thoughts with my unconscious. And how do I do that? It goes back to my thoughts. You need to constantly think that you can do it, because before something becomes a belief, first it's a thought. I believe that every belief is simply a thought repeated so many times that it becomes a core belief. So if you want to get to these sorts of places, you're going to have to start there. All right? He also talked about how this servo mechanism can either work against you, do you relate, or for you. And so when it's working against you, you're going to see things like failure. And when it's working for you, you're going to be things like success. Now, he did not define success as like material things. I also don't really define success as material things. Things like self-confidence, self-compassion, courage, empathy, sense of direction, self-esteem. All of these things show that your servo mechanism is working correctly. Now, I want you to go search yourself, check, and ask yourself, how is my servo mechanism working? And if it's not working, what can I do to change this? Now, when your servo mechanism is not working, you're going to have things like frustration, aggressiveness, insecurity, loneliness, uncertainty, resentment, emptiness. I am no stranger to these feelings. I promise you, I am not. These are actually feelings that I have felt quite heavily, but you know, it's important to look at these things. If you're feeling resentment, you're feeling loneliness, you're feeling aggressive, you're feeling lonely, it's important to, instead of see these things as, oh, I'm aggressive, or oh, I'm frustrated, look at these things as a symptom. I think that a lot of the times our emotions are symptoms of a deeper issue. Okay, so you're gonna have to ask yourself things such as, why am I frustrated? Why am I frustrated? Okay, why am I frustrated? Why am I so angry? Okay, I read this book, I think Millionaire Success Habits, when I was like 18, 17. And in this book, he talked about asking yourself why. That was the first time that I encountered the question why in the way that that book talked about it. Every time that you want to do something or you have a thought or belief, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. For instance, I want to go to law school. Why? I want to help people. Why do I want to help people? Because I don't want to see people sad. Why don't I want to see people sad? Like, if you keep doing that, you're going to find that the reason why you think you're doing things is not actually why you're doing them a lot of the time. So start there. This video is getting too long and I'm tired of talking. So these are a few things that I learned from this book. Also, things that I learned from other books. I just end up putting everything together because my brain's a mess. But yeah, that's all. I hope you like this video. If you have read this book, let me know what you learned from this book. If you have not read this book, read it and let me know. If you have any other book recommendations, I know that I should be reading my textbooks, but honestly, the only way to stay is to keep doing some of the things you love, which for me is making videos and reading books. The making video thing has not been working out for me. However, here's a video for you. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching.